Hello YouTube, this is William. Posted a not a video, but a picture on my social media yesterday, Instagram and also Facebook. And I had showed this hatchet and this spoon, and of course this knife, and this is the thumbnail that for this video. And so I had some questions, and I thought maybe I would talk about some of the questions, and also some things I want to show you. Okay, first question was, what is that hatchet? This is a carving axe, and I ordered this from Etsy probably a couple 3 years ago, and it was made by a forge in Ukraine, and I don't even know if you can get them right now because of all the war and everything. But if you search Etsy and for a carving axe, this will pop up, and I don't even know the name of it, but that's the logo, if you can see that in the axe. They use an ash handle. I did all the checkering and everything on it, and I think there's an old video of mine of me doing that, and it's probably 3-4 years old. But anyway, I haven't used this axe in a long time, so I used it yesterday carving this spoon. And so anyway, that's the reason I put it in the video. Lovely axe, it really is. And somebody had asked me, and let me move the camera down. Somebody had asked me why a sharp point, and let me show you why. Here's an old wormy piece of wood, and it's so that you can use it as a knife. You can get into those real tight spots like that and take out that material. So you're using the weight of your tool as a assistance in carving, because the heavier your tool is, it does more work for you. Okay, and I'll go over what this bench is here in a minute. But this axe, it's just a pleasure to work with. A lot of people like a light hatchet or axe, but I prefer something that's got a little weight on it. So when you pick it up, the weight does the work for you. So the only effort you're putting in is picking the axe up. Okay, you don't have to drive it down. To me, that's more tiring. So when you pick it up, and it just does the work for you, like so. Okay. Another tip is, when you're carving and you're holding something and you're up here, don't pick your axe up above your hand. Keep it below your hand and you'll still be safe. Okay, so that's another little tip while I'm here. Another thing that I used was this, and I didn't show this on the in the picture, but I hollowed the bowl out using this. This is a new, they call it a bentknife, and it's made by northbayforge.com. You can get them there. It's North Bay Forge. It's NORTHBAY forge.com, and it's sharpened on both sides. So it's really did a phenomenal job. It really did. Even on this hard peach. This is peach. So and it's coal rosing. I don't know if I showed that or not. But anyway, attempt at coal rosing. And if you don't know what coal rosing is, just do a YouTube search and it'll pop right up. It's KOLROSING, I think is how it's spelled. It's a Swedish term. So anyway, so that was my first attempt at it, and we'll see if I continue doing that if I get the time. But anyway, so I used this bent knife. This bent knife did a fantastic job. And there's several options. One of them has a little bit straighter part before it crooks, more like a a crooked knife, if you will, that's used as a draw knife. But anyway, phenomenal tool. It holds a very good edge. And of course, I didn't show it in a picture, but I use this knife a little bit, this little master carver. But mostly I use the Fieldlore. Okay. So let's talk about this this little bench that I've got here. I've had this bench for probably, I'm gonna pick you guys up. I guess I've had it 2 months, and it was in the box, just sat in the corner of the shop because I didn't have time to get to it. And it's called a Jawhorse. See, Jawhorse, and I ordered it from Amazon. And basically what it is just these two jaws here that you can spread them apart. I think it goes up to 30 something inches. And well, let me see if I can demonstrate it here. Another tip, you guys see all these wood shavings on top of my chopping block? A lot of people will rake those off, but I like to leave them there because it actually cushions the axe a little bit, and it seems to protect the edge a little bit more than striking a hard wood. It keeps the edge a little bit sharper, in my opinion. But anyway, so it's got a lock on it right here, and it's unlocked, and you just unclick it, and this jaw here, well, this jaw here just slides back and forth. And you can just lock things in, and it'll lock them in all the way up to as tight as that. I mean, you could even lock in something as small as this. Just put your foot peak down and lock it in place, and you can use it as a draw. You can use your draw knife on it and a few other things. But first time I used it, and I'd say I'm kind of impressed. I really am. You just step on the foot feet here, unlock it, click, and just move it back and forth. But the block that I had, block that I was using, it's just an old piece of firewood. But I mean, you could really, and these legs fold up. I mean, it'll fold up to about that wide, about that deep, and of course the length is going to stay the same. But the legs fold in, and you just throw it in the back of your car. I mean, it's not something that you can backpack with, but you can just throw it in the back of your car or truck, and you got a carving bench. It's the right height for me. It comes up to about my waist. Just throw your piece of firewood in there and lay it down, and you got a nice chopping block, and you don't have to bend over and all this other stuff. And if you wanted to, you could take a smaller version of a chop block with the notches and everything in it and take that with you as well, and you could just put that in there. So yeah, that's the reason I got it, is because I wanted something that I could take on car camping trips, so that I would have a kind of a carving bench, if you would, so that yeah, it'd be a lot easier to carve with on camp. But anyway, that's the Jawhorse, and it's made by Rockwell. So you know, Rockwell's a pretty good name. I mean, and it's heavy gauge steel. It's tough. It has some holes in the feet so that you can actually pin it to the ground, but I saw no need to do that. But anyway, just a Sunday out here. I'm cooking a brisket. I'll show you what's in the deal. I didn't make a video of me cooking this. It's going to be a long process. But see there? Oh, that's looking good, ain't it? We got a few more hours on it, but anyway. So just a Sunday out playing in the shop, and I thought maybe I'd do a brief video and show you guys what I used, because I had some questions on that. The axe mainly. And there was a few questions on the knife. And while I'm here, I guess I might as well talk about the knife a little bit. The knife is the Fieldlore, and this one has stag handles. I just wanted to see what a stag handle would do, and if it was possible to do a limited run with stag handles. Okay, and I did two. One of them was sold in the sale day before yesterday, and so I'm getting a lot of feedback on that, and there's a lot of people wanting one with stag handles, wanting different brand models with stag. The problem with stag is you can get it. This is Axis stag. The problem is you're limited to what you can get, and so the handle's size and shape would have to vary, so it wouldn't be an actual model. Out of the two that I got, one worked fairly well, but it is a huge handle. I mean, I love it, but I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that won't, because it's a huge handle. And if you try to narrow it down, of course, the thinner you get this, the narrower it goes. So you got a real thin handle and a real narrow handle. So it's not a very comfortable. It's not a WC knife. Okay, so that's the problem I found with stag. I mean, out of a box of stag, you might get 2 or 3 pieces that would work. So that's a lot of money to just get a couple of knives out of it, you know. So it just doesn't. The benefit is not there. The other knife I did, you can see the handle is a little bit narrow. The shape of the handle is not what you could think a WC knife is. But anyway, that's the issue with stag, because I'm getting a lot of feedback about stag, and since they saw this knife, and I probably shouldn't have posted pictures of it, but it's a nice looking knife. I love this knife. Matter of fact, out of all the knives I've done, I have used this one more, and I see no reason to get rid of it. I mean, it does everything that I would want a knife to do. It whittles. It's in the kitchen. It's food prep. That little belly right there, I just trimmed up that brisket, and I mean, just a phenomenal design. I think that this is, I hate to say perfect knife, but this is very, very close, folks. Very close for me. Now, it may not be perfect for everybody, or close to perfect for everybody, but for my needs in the shop and on camp, in the woods, I mean, it ticks all my boxes. It really does. So anyway, that's the Fieldlore with stag. And again, it's going to be very difficult to do a stag. If I can get some stag, then I might do a limited run, but it's going to be months down the road, folks. I have got so much wholesale stuff to do, and of course the retail side. I still got to do the Master Sportsmans. I got to do the stickies. I got to do the slims. I've got to do a lot of things before Christmas, and anything else after that is you know, it's going to be probably into summer of next year. So anyway, just thinking out loud and planning ahead a little bit, and letting you guys know that I am thinking about summer and where we're going. You know, in order to get the steel, I may put a listing up on the website for just the base run of Fieldlores. Maybe do a micarta, because I mean, it is a work knife. It is nice, but this is a workhorse. It really is. I have thoroughly enjoyed this knife. And somebody was asking, what's that hook for? Let me kind of lower this camera a little bit. And as I'm carving, if you do, you can see how it comes up against that hook right there, and that tooth. and it just holds that material. Whereas if it's got that gentle belly, it's kind of wants to slide off, but that hook, it'll hold it, and it'll cut. The other thing is when you're doing chest lever cuts, you know, you're having to work your knife, but this, you can just keep that knife at the same angle, and it goes up against that tooth, and I mean it'll hog some wood off. I don't know if you guys can see that. And this is dried hard peach, so once it gets to that tooth, and it just slices it off, and it's just hardly any effort at all. And you do thumb cuts into that tooth. See how deep that'll go? Because you're cutting in several different ways. I mean, that point is like one serration, is what Tim Roper said. And I think it's a very good observation. But anyway, and on mine, I've rounded the spine off to about right there. So the only sharp part of the knife is right there on the spine. So that you can still do that fluff. You can still do your ferro rods and all this other stuff. And folks, the other thing is will it strike a ferro rod? Well, anything with a sharp edge will strike a ferro rod. Some people think it has to have high carbon content in the blade. Glass will strike a ferro rod. All you need is a sharp edge as a scraper. That's all you need. So, yeah, it gets that fluff, but the spine is rounded, and when you get your knife, it'll be sharp. But all you have to do is just take a little bit of wet dry sandpaper, probably 80 grit, go to a 120, and just round the edges off a little bit in the areas that you want to round off. But it's easier for me to put it on there and you take it off than you to try to put a 90 on there where you want it. Okay, so that's the reason I do a 90 degree on the full spine. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that's the benefit. Now on a standard Woodlore from Ray Mears, which is what this knife is, basically this shape is the Woodlore, and then this part is pure WC right here, this grind and everything. But that right there is what makes the difference, is that tooth and that little crook right there in that Scandi portion. And other models has that tooth too, with that hook, so it'll do the same thing. But anyway, I just thought maybe I would mention that again, because I've had some comments on that as well. So anyway, there's the Fieldlore. Love the knife, really do. But anyway, as I've rambled long enough, you guys get in the backyard, cook a brisket, whittle on a stick, just enjoy the outdoors. And if you do take a child with you, get the opportunity, and teach that child some skills. Teach them how to operate a knife. I got nicked yesterday. This knife, the Fieldlore, nicked me. That's one thing you got to worry about on longer blades when you're whittling or carving, is you got to watch that other end of that blade. So I got a little careless, but anyway, it happens. But anyway, teach that child how to handle a knife and get some skills, and start to learn the outdoors and get a passion for it. And if you do, take plenty of Band-Aids and lots of knives, and we'll catch you again very soon.